Live streaming is on.
Hello, everyone. This is Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister. Welcome to the Beyond Bitcoin show. Today is April the 4th, 2020. Strong hand, unconfiscatable. Bitcoin is the next Bitcoin. Personal responsibility is the new counterculture. Deferral of gratification. Conviction. Golden age. Relentless. Defiance over compliance. Hello, my elite friends. Check out This Week in Bitcoin. It's linked to below. Anders was on. Simon from the Netherlands. Haas from Australia. Oh my. You can watch it at BitChute also. Just hungrymeister.com. sportsmeister.com, disruptmeister.com. Those are the three URLs you got to remember. They're linked to below. When YouTube kicks me off of my main channel, you can find me just like that. A new show every day, even when the main Bitcoin Meister channel on YouTube has been erased by them. We're working on that still. Haven't heard back from them, but they can't silence the Bitcoin Meister. Pound that like button. A new show every day. Haven't missed a day. We'll go over the Passover schedule a little later because everybody knows during Rosh Hashanah and Passover, things are a little bit different around here. So we'll get into that in a second. For all the veterans know that at least. Now, let's talk about feminization of the West, of the USA, the West. You're noticing it now during this virus panic when everyone's hysterical out there, right? Here is a tweet. The fear genie has infected people to the degree that they cannot think rationally anymore. Couple that with how effeminate this country has become, and you've got yourself the worst civic critical mass event imaginable. I agree. I agree. The New York Post has an article. Most Americans will stay home this month, even if the lockdown is lifted, says a poll. Oh my. Well, at least they're voluntarily going to stay home if once this thing is lifted, okay? State by state, they'll lift it eventually. But still, it shows how feminized and how scared and how hysterical the media has made people. Or just, I mean, I'm not going to blame it all on the media. I'm not going to scapegoat the media on this. People are individuals. They should be individuals. It's personal responsibility is new counterculture. A lot of them became feminized a long time ago. Be a man. Stop hiding. Unemotionally analyze the facts. Don't get caught up in the panic prison that you're being fed on TV. I mean, I haven't watched TV at all. I don't turn that thing on, but I don't even see clips from TV really. And I did until recently. I saw one from some mainstream channel. And the dude was sitting at his house. And I had heard Scott Adams saying that all these dudes are like at their houses now. Like they're not in the studio. I didn't even know that. I don't even know that. That's how I keep myself away from that nonsense because it's all nonsense. I read. Reading is fundamental. Pound that like button. So I'll go to CNN.com. I'll go to Fox.com and read. Okay. There you go. But it's panic there too. And it goes way beyond the political divide. Okay. Fox is conservative, Drudge is conservative. They're feminizing everyone too, okay? They're just putting the saddest, scariest stories, which are sometimes complete lies. They said an infant died in Connecticut from the virus, and it didn't even happen. And of course, that tugs on the heartstrings, but it didn't even. The governor of Connecticut said it. Apparently, I don't know. I mean, I saw that in passing on Twitter. I don't even want to read it. I don't even care because I know this thing affects sick people. Okay, this thing affects old people. To an incredible, if you're healthy, dude, it's just, you don't really have much to worry about. It's just like a bad, there've been other, swine flus. I don't even know. They've killed plenty of people. All right. But and to lock down the whole country for this is ridiculous. And I've said it a million times, but we're going to get into more specifics in a second. The point that I'm making right now is about you have a setback. You keep on going. Okay. You don't hide. That's what a man does. That's what you do when you're in motion, okay? 1,600 of my videos were erased. Did I go cry and hide? Did I say, oh, no, I compete. I don't complain. I have not missed a video yet, all right? So these people out there that get caught up in the panic prison after this is over, and it should be, I mean, there's no reason it shouldn't be going on now. They're going to have a choice to make. Are they going to keep on hiding? Or are they going to compete and not complain? I got to tell you, a lot of people are going to keep on complaining. I mean, that's the victim mentality world that we live in now. It's glorious to associate yourself with victims, apparently. It's great to be a victim. No. Personal responsibility is a new counterculture. I am prouder than ever to be defiant and to be part of the personal responsibility counterculture. Now, we're going to talk about some dudes that were defiant here in a second in Queens. But let me just see if anybody had any questions in the chat here. We got guys in the chat. All right. My usuals are there. All right. You guys can ask questions if you want. Hopefully I will see it. All right. And remember, guys, spread the word on Twitter, TechBalt, TECHBALT. There are still people contacting me like, what happened to your channel? I mean, it's like the pinned thing on my TechBalt account on Twitter. It's the pinned video. There's a video explaining what happened right there. You guys can check it out. Obviously, if you're watching this, you know what happened and you know where to find me. But it's just amazing. For years and years and years now, I'm like, link to below, disruptmeister.com, TechBalt on Twitter. And yet people, there are so many people that are caught in the YouTube algorithm. They don't see my videos coming up on YouTube. They don't know what to do. They don't know how to find me. I mean, I say it a million times. I mean, listening comprehension. That's what I have always said. But people are finding it and everything. People are finding where I am. Hey, you can watch it on BitChute. There's so many options out there. And some of you are just still like, you're like, Adam, I just listened to your podcast. Nothing's changed at all. So what are you even talking about? I love you guys. I love you guys at sportsmeister.com. The guys that just listen, that don't need to see my face. My hair does look nice tonight. But fancy sets and graphics, no, we don't have them here. And the podcast people really know that. All right. Because they just listen to the voice. Who can listen to this? I can't watch this, dude. Oh, God. You got to be able to make fun of yourselves, dudes. All right. You cannot take yourself seriously. Life is awesome. Life is a lot of fun, dudes. And I was, well, some of you soon are going to get a little, if you saw my thumbnail today, that's a little preview of a special video you guys are going to get soon. I'm going to talk about LA and the mayor of LA. I'm going to talk about him in a second here on this video too. So let me get back to where I'm supposed to be here. All right, back to the notes section. All right. Now, back to my thing. 4,000 bikers in Queens, okay, attended a funeral. And the cops just stood there, which was great. Maybe they were scared. Maybe they're like, this is ridiculous. These guys just want to have a funeral for their friend. So you can, it's linked to below. But of course, they're being shamed in the article. People trying, but I love them. I love these dudes for being in motion. They're on motorcycles. I mean, how are they going to spread it? I mean, it's just ridiculous. But here is a reply in the thread from a guy named Harold Sipe. What a C-U-C-K this guy is. And this is a typical compliant reply. This is the example of the feminization of America. I am now at the stage where I think anyone doing this crap should be shot. Oh my God. That's what the guy said. That is what the guy said. I'm not saying that. That's what this dude said. I'm quoting a tweet there. He thinks that people riding their motorcycles should be shot. Oh God. Hundreds of bikers flood Queens streets to attend a funeral. Good for you. We need to see more of this. I saw a guy in a Mustang. He had it camo colored and he was blasting his rap music. And I was just like, yeah, man. Do it. He had a top down on his camo Mustang. Do it. Cruise. What's wrong with doing that, man? Live your freaking life again, people. But to think that to call for the killing of the shooting of people who are just exercising their rights just to drive on the street, to respect their friend who died. This is the world we've gotten into, and I'm proud that I'm not part of that mainstream culture where that's accepted. to shame these. No, there is no shame in being normal and riding your motorcycle for your friends that died. I mean, attending a funeral is nothing to be shamed for. But we've gotten to that level of hysteria, apparently. So the 20%er productive class, we all understand that there is a day after tomorrow. There's a day after today. This will pass, and it is going to be great because the guys like that I mentioned above, the feminized people, they can't compete. They're going to keep on complaining. There will be less competition out there. And so many of them they're going to want to keep on hiding. So good. They're going to complain instead of compete. The people who want to compete are going to be raking it in, getting the jobs that the criers and complainers they're not going to be able to get anymore. Because they'll be more and more part of the dependent class, more and more complaining coming from those feminized people. They need a daddy. Because their daddy's little girl, even if they got, it's just so pathetic. These guys can't be guys. They're daddy's little girls. Daddy's little girls stay at home because Cuomo said to say, Cuomo got me scared. I got to stay home. Even when everyone's going back to work, I'm not going to go. Great. And for you, all those people who are calling for this to go on and on to protect the regular man. The funniest thing is, the unfortunate thing is that it's the wealthy people who can afford to have this go on and on and on. Okay. Again, for me personally, this could go on indefinitely and it would not affect me at all. Really. I do this. I have my Bitcoin. I'm set. There are plenty of people that could go on, but most people out there most people are middle class or lower class, but the great majority of people can't go on much longer. Okay. So the people who think you're helping people, you're keeping them healthy. No, you're destroying their lives. You're destroying most people's lives. And the people who are the most envious of the wealthy, the people who cry the most about income inequality, you're creating more and more of it. Guys who are wealthy, it doesn't matter to us. It doesn't matter. In the Bitcoin overlay, it doesn't matter to us. We're going to become, when it's all said and done, we'll be more wealthier than all you people who want to extend this. And it's your own fault. So pound that like button. Compete, don't complain. I'm telling you the truth that this thing should end now. Even though, in theory, in a sick theory, it's not in my best interest because the longer it goes on, the less competition there is for me once it all ends. But no, I'm doing what's right, okay? I don't want people to be more and more people to be dependent. I want more and more people to have the independent mentality to know about personal responsibility. So really, in a true long-term thinker's mind, in a true wealthy person's mind, he knows that this thing should end right now. It's good for him because if there are more and more long-term thinkers out there, the world is a better place. The world is that much closer to life extension technology. When there's people stuck in their houses, the productivity is cut. And so innovation is also being cut during this period of time. And for me, I understand long-term innovation from others will benefit me, will benefit all of society. We'll talk about life extension in a second. Pound that like button. So I now know why I watch Scott Adams. Now, he one reason I watch him is he occasionally comes up with some good ideas. Lately, there haven't been too many good ideas because he's a scared CUCK and he's promoting people to be a good citizen and help me and don't work so I can be healthy so I don't have to. If Scott's so scared, he should lock himself in his house. He shouldn't force it upon other people, but he doesn't get that. But he watches a lot of TV. That's all he does. He loves to watch mainstream TV. He comments it on all the time. And you know what? Because he does that, he gives me a summary of everything. So it's quite, it's good. I get to see I don't have to watch a second of the sickening CNN, ABC, whatever he watches and he's talking about and summarizing for me. I've never seen Chris Cuomo before. Chris Cuomo is the guy on CNN. I've seen little clips of him, but I've never watched him on CNN. Don Lemon and all these people he talks about, I've seen teeny little clips of him. But Scott Adams, he sums up all these people. The other one, the women and stuff on CNN and Fox, I have no idea who he's talking about. I don't even know. MSNBC, I know Rachel Maddow. I know who she is because there's many men that are better looking women than she is. But and she's a disgrace to people of my. She's one of the reasons that like probably people scapegoat people of my religion because of her. Anyway, but Scott, one of the reasons to watch Scott is that he's a CUCK and he spends his time watching a mainstream media, and he sums it up nicely for us so we don't have to watch it. So that's pretty good. Scott Adams was trying to pump up his he has an altcoin that's like worth less than 1/10 of a cent or something. And he was saying, for the good of the world, it would be great. Everyone's short on toilet paper. So my cryptocurrency should be worth as much as toilet paper. And so you think that's funny. You're like, oh, whoa, that's funny. But the funny thing is, he's a smart guy. If his obviously he owns a bunch of his own cryptocurrency, and if it's worth less than 1/10 of a cent, but somehow he promotes it to these people to buy it and make it worth and trade it for toilet paper, then it would be worth. I mean, he'd be a billionaire. It would be worth so much more because obviously he owns a huge stake. Not a billion. I mean, he'd be much wealthier than he already is if he could pump up the price of one of his less than a cent, less than 1/10 of a cent cryptocurrency with a value of a toilet paper is. What's one toilet paper? $1.50? I don't know what a roll of toilet paper is. I get it for free here. It was provided. Comes with the places I stay at. I really don't know how much is toilet paper these days. How much is it? I have no idea. But anyway, yeah. So he that's his way of persuasion. He calls it persuasion. All persuasion is like, how can you easily convince 80%ers with fancy sets and graphics and silly arguments and have them be my slaves? I mean that's what persuasion is to this dude out there. And I mean he's not an evil dude. I'll say that he's not an evil dude, but whatever. He's a collectivist. I'll say that. He's a collectivist. I'll leave it at that. Okay, moving on. I talked too much about Scott Adams. But again, now I understand why. I mean, he gives a good summary of the mainstream, so I don't have to watch it. So there you go. But I only watch his morning show. He has 2 shows now. I can't. And he talks so slow, by the way, you got to play it at 2x. So for me, it's like, 20 minutes out of my day, 25 minutes out of my day. It's not much. And again, there's a couple times he'll say some good stuff. And it's good to get, again, you shouldn't just watch people you agree with 100% of the time. And there's got to be a good reason to watch someone. So there's a good reason. He sums up the mainstream. Now, anti-aging from Vitalik Buterin. A lot of you guys don't like Vitalik, but here he's got a good tweet. If we're being more open-minded about accepting new weird ideas, can I suggest anti-aging research? Aging is a humanitarian disaster that kills as many people as World War II every 2 years, and even before killing, debilitates people and burdens social systems and families. Let's end it. Yes. Let's get everybody back to work. I'll say this: research money into ending anti-aging research is much more beneficial than finding a vaccine for this. Okay, seriously, finding a cure for aging would be much more beneficial than finding a vaccine for something that everyone's going to get and everyone's going to become immune to. Again, are you going to take a rushed vaccine? And the likelihood of them coming up with a vaccine it'll take at least 18 months, a year and a half. Okay, all right. And I've never taken a flu vaccine in my life, and I'll feel no need to take this one. I probably already had this thing. I mean, 50% of the people have no symptoms at all. So you might have had it and you felt healthy for the last 10 years and you might have had it, okay? You might have had it a month ago. We don't even have the antibody test out there, and we've gotten to this point where they've shut 42 of the states of the United States down, okay? We'll go over the 8 brave states that haven't given in to the, what's it called, the settle in place thing that we're under apparently. I mean, I was out there today walking around, and we'll get into that later. All right. So on the show, when Haas was on the show, and he was talking about how the people in Australia are really following the rules and that they're being arrested and fined for doing little things. I mean, they're actually trying to enforce it on these people, and they're not rebelling. And he said, well, as long as we have beer, we're cool or whatever. But someone, I don't know if it was in the comment section. I think it was the comment section in my BitChute said Australia was originally a United Kingdom prison camp. Pound that like button. So maybe that mentality of being in prison has like been passed down to the people. And they're like, well, I was brought here as a prisoner. I still got that prisoner mentality from 200 years ago. I thought that was an interesting little point there. It's not true. You can't pass on that mentality. But and most of the people that are in Australia, they're not descended from the people that were brought there from as prisoners. I mean, Haas, his relatives were from Lebanon. His ancestry, he's Lebanese. Okay, and so yes. There will be a video of me outside because I know you guys like fancy sets and graphics. You like to see me. You like a different background. So you'll see me on the streets of LA. That'll probably come during Passover because I don't do Wednesday's the first night of Passover. So I'll do a show Wednesday afternoon, but there'll be no news show on Thursday. But you'll get a tape show on Thursday. And this year's a little bit different because Friday night is Shabbat, and I never do a show on Shabbat. I do a show before Shabbat starts on Friday, and then I do this show after Shabbat ends on Saturday. But it'll get a little messed up, so there'll be another tape show on Friday. And so those of you also who follow me on Twitter, that means from Wednesday night until Saturday night, there will be nothing new for me on Twitter, okay? Nothing. So don't go crazy. Don't expect anything. I'm going into Twitter silence from Wednesday night, the start of Passover, until Saturday night, which will be the end of the third day of Passover, which is the end of Shabbat. All right. But there you go. Just giving you things change around here on Passover. This one's a little different because of the timing and Rosh Hashanah. But all right, enough of that. But you're still getting a show here every day, baby. Pound that like button. Conviction. But I think people like the outside. Maybe the Friday one will be a flashback show. We'll see. Now that all my old videos have been erased by YouTube, I have a few of them saved. But no, I don't have all 1,600 of them saved. Hardly. But the cool thing is on sportsmeister.com, you've got over 300, the audio version of over 365 of them, actually. Sportsmeister.com, you can listen going back to March of 2018 and a little bit before, too. Some flashback ones I had brought up. For those of you who can listen, I know some of you just need to see my face. All right, so I warned everyone about the my schedule coming up. I have to warn everybody about that in a couple more times on the other shows. Personal responsibility here. That's me. Now, so yeah, I mentioned before the United States is becoming fascist and the whole world is becoming fascist. It's not the place of government to interfere with private matters, okay? But the people now think it is, and they're begging for it. And this tweet is someone begging Governor Hogan of Maryland to interfere. Here we go. When are you going to suspend rent, mortgage, and utility dues since most people are not working? I mean, oh, government, fix my problem. Most people are not working because of the government. Your question should be, why are we living in a fascist regime now where the government is shutting down, picking and chooses businesses that are winners and losers? Well, we think you're essential. You're not essential, okay? So no, they shouldn't be suspending rent, okay? That isn't the responsibility of the government. A landlord, you've made a commitment to a landlord. But again, we have gone down a path. I can see why a person would want this, but this person should understand, don't beg the governor who made this position, who put you in this position in the first place. If the governor of Maryland didn't shut down Maryland, you'd be working and you'd be able to pay your bills. You'd be able to pay your rent. So then we've got the unelected, at least Governor Hogan, Larry Hogan of Maryland, where I'm from. even though he's not really Republican. He's a rhino. He's the ultimate rhino right now. And he wants all the people to love him, and it'll be great once he's out of office, and how all the Democrats of Maryland will be saying how horrible he was, and they will hate on him, and they'll come up. Don't worry, he'll get it paid back to him. Trying to stand for nothing. He stands for nothing. He's just like, it's ridiculous. But how else will a Republican get elected to statewide office in Maryland? I get it. That's the point he'll probably say. Like, I can't stand for anything. How else would I win? So, but at least he's elected, because Fauci, what's Fauci, the health czar of the United States? What's his position called? He like is is he dictator of the United States now? This is what people want Fauci. This is what it's come to. Everyone worshiping an unelected bureaucrat. It's disgusting. It's statism on steroids. I would love if Trump just fired his butt. That would be funny, because Fauci's models are completely flawed. He doesn't understand that you shut down that these states shutting down the economies. More people are going to die in the long run, and that there's no need to do this. There's no need to do this. Old people, lock yourselves up, okay? What Fauci should be doing is like telling, figuring out the malaria pill. The malaria pill helps prevent this for many people. Some people are making jokes out of it. We're going to get that in a second. Fauci's into the doom. I guess he wants to be hero. I don't know what his ulterior motives are. It's clear he's either got ulterior motives, or he doesn't care about money. Doesn't care about it, because money is important. If people don't have money, they can't eat. They become dependent and they die. For real, not for fake, not from things like that infant story before. All right. So yeah, people take advantage of this for political reasons by keeping the fear level high. So the virus, again, it's a real thing. It wasn't made up for political purposes. But once it's out there, and once the politicians realize they can get fear out of it, and in fact, it's not the end of the world, and in fact, they know it's not as bad as they're making it out to be. They want power, and there are so many of them seeing this as an opportunity. And here's a tweet from Jesse Kelly. He says, "See Russia, 1917. Massive poverty, anger, and desperation are the perfect conditions to usher in leftist radicals who would never even be considered in different times." So there's so many things right now that would not be considered in different times than this. The only reason they're being considered is because people are scared, and politicians are taking. And it's not just leftists that are taking advantage of this either. There's all sorts of people that are trying to. They want more power. It's a time to power grab time. Make these people more dependent. Yeah, I know the truth, but I'll just keep on lying and make it scarier than it really is. Media, the same thing. Media, they know to focus on the scariest possible things possible. It gets them the ratings. More people watching TV than ever before. Isn't that sickening? Scott Adams was saying, yeah, he thinks people are going to be healthier after this because they're going to be walking more. No. People are stuck in their house, watching TV, stuffing their faces with too much food that they bought at the store. So we probably have more people having heart attacks after this and getting diabetes after this. Who knows? And here is Eric Garcetti. Now, the video where he says he's a snitch is linked to. Make sure you downvote it. A lot of people have downvoted it, more people than upvoted it. I downvoted it. I'm in his town. All right. I'm here in LA until the end of May. And here we go. He says snitches get rewards for ratting out their neighbors. Los Angeles Mayor, this is a real thing. And the story is linked to below also. Beside the video, you can watch yourself. Los Angeles, and this was on March 30. I think it was March 30th, and the story is just coming out now. Los Angeles Mayor is becoming national now, at least. Los Angeles Mayor Eric Garcetti is encouraging residents in his city to tattletale on their neighbors who defy his essential, at least by government standards. If any non-essential businesses continue to operate in violation of the stay-at-home order, we're going to act to enforce the safer at-home order and ensure their compliance, Garcetti said. You know the old expression about snitches? Well, in this case, snitches get rewards. Dude, I'd love him to hang out on the streets of Baltimore with some of the guys and say that he's a snitch and see what happens. Now, I won't get into the specifics of what happens to snitches in certain neighborhoods in Baltimore City. You know, Druid Heights, Sandtown, Winchester, Baltimore. No, I don't know. I don't know if Eric Garcetti be that line would go over too well there. But he's in LA. I mean, he lives in some nice house. Where does he live? Does he live in Silver Lake or I don't know where? I don't know. He lives in some trendy place. It's down the street. It's down Santa Monica Boulevard. I know that. So yeah, that is real. It's unbelievable that it's the mayor of the second largest city in the United States of America. The mayor of the city of Tinseltown City, he can say something like that and get away with it, man. And Guy Bennett said, didn't shed a single tear about the. He says, Adam Meister didn't shed a single tear about his last channel being shut down. Just picked himself up, dusted off, and created a new channel. The Bitcoin Meister strong hand. Well, dude, you got most of that right, but I had this backup channel ready because I'm a long-term thinker, and I knew something like this would happen. And actually, something like this happened for 2 days. Well, it wasn't this bad. It was just I couldn't post new videos for 2 days in December because of the algorithm shut it down because of keywords. But this is obviously they took my whole channel down this time. We'll see. We'll see if it comes back up. But no, I keep on rolling, baby. I'm rolling, baby. You got to roll with the punches. But thanks. And no, the show must go on. Conviction. We got a lot of people were talking. I don't know if they got. All right. People are saying stay safe. All right. Just okay. It's something to catch my attention if you can't type in my screen name. My screen name here is Proud Zionist Jew, but I don't know if that works. I mean, you made it work, but it's such a long name. You're going to spell it wrong. You put a bunch of 8 smiley faces first, and I will. I will respond if you. I'll see 8 smiley faces or something like that. Yeah, I picked the name of this channel because I knew I am a Proud Zionist Jew, and I know that just really gets to the troll real bad. I mean, one of the biggest trolling contingents on YouTube are the ones that are paranoid about Israel and stuff. So when you say, Zionists, they have no idea what that even means. So it really just drives them crazy. If someone says they're proud Zionists, how can anyone even say they're a Zionist? No, of course, I'm a proud Zionist Jew. All Jews should be proud Zionist Jews. But again, many Jewish people, like all sorts of people, have been feminized and they're scared and they didn't want to say that they like Israel and we must be wrong. We must be wrong. There's no pride and no self-pride. But that's the opposite of me. That's the opposite of me. I got the conviction. I'm not trying to fit in with the Gentiles or anything like that. Nothing wrong with being a Gentile, but fitting in is overrated, dude. Fitting in is overrated. All right. Pound that like button. Moving on. But yeah, the screen name definitely was chosen to, and I chose this. I came up with this backup channel long before December too. I don't even remember when I came up with it now. I mean, you could probably, there's a way to see. It says member since whenever. Okay, moving on. What else do we have? Let's go. Okay, so Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Brian sent me this tweet. He's a good dude. He's a good dude on Twitter. And he didn't make this tweet, but this is from Jimmy Hoover. Justice Ginsburg's trainer told me that he and the 87-year-old are still doing their workout sessions, and this is from March 31st, at the Supreme Court's private gym while taking precautions. The only reason why I didn't shut the justice down is because, hey, she ain't having it. So Brian makes a good point. He says, that's great that she's doing that. But to juxtapose this with all the stay home, don't hurt old people stuff that's literally everywhere in legal literature is so ironic. We should applaud RBG for getting out there and not shame others who want to do the same thing. So you know what? That is great that RBG is going to her gym and she's with another person and she's socially interacting. And if other people her age want to do that, or other people much younger than her want to do that, they should have that right to do that. People are shut in their houses now. So it just shows you. Now, he bringing up RBG, I've been meaning to say this for a while. I got to call something out. Back when she was diagnosed for the third time with a major cancer at the beginning of, when was it? The beginning of 2019. I said, there's no way this woman she's old. She's had this cancer for the third time. And it's a serious cancer. I said, there's no way she's making it to 2020, let alone the 2020 election. So the Trump is going to get to decide another who takes her place. And as you guys can see, she made it to 2020. So I was incorrect about that. And it's getting closer to November and she's working out. So I say good for her. I say good. I mean, that's amazing. And what I would love to know, I mean, we know part of her regimen is to stay in motion and to do exercise. It would be so awesome if she could tell everyone what she does. What is her exact regimen? What pills is she taking? Does she fast? What supplements? What is going on here? Now, a lot of you are going to say, well, she's privileged. She has access to so many things. And this may be true. She probably has access to a lot of things that a lot of normal people do not. But there are plenty of people who get sick, like she gets sick, okay, who saved up their money and would be very willing to pay for whatever the heck she is paying for, okay, or what the government is paying for her to survive this long. So it would be great if she could share that information. So I'm not wishing anything bad upon her. I'd love to know. I think it's quite an accomplishment to survive cancer this long. And I'd love to know what she's doing. So speaking about longevity, I did a 45, I just ended, well, a little bit before this, 45.5 hour fast. Keep on doing those extended fasts, everybody. And I feel great. I love doing them. I felt after my last meal, I felt very filled. So I'm like, okay, now's the time to do my extended fast. And I do many of them during the year. So I skipped all of the day. I skipped Friday, didn't eat it all on Friday. I think it's the 8th day this year that I've totally skipped. And again, last year I got up to 35 or 36 days of the year I totally skipped. And those of you who are familiar, every day, no matter what, is at least a 22-hour fast. But that doesn't mean if you do a 22-hour fast, that means you do eat every day. It's just you have at least 22 hours between meals. And usually for me, it's like 23 or something like that. All right. But hey, dude, I like it. Very energetic. And something, I mean, this might gross some people out. But yeah, I had, despite not eating for that long, I still had a very solid defecation. And it just, you're getting rid of the poison out of your body. That's what defecation is. I mean, you're getting rid of the poison out of your body. So it was great. It's good. And I've had, when I've done my 120-hour fast at one time, I think I defecated on the last day too. I mean, that's really, really cleaning out the system there. Okay. Hey, I'm not the only one that talks about defecation. Watch Vention's channel. He gets even into more details about his, because he has cancer. He has colon, he's colon cancer and liver cancer. So his defecations are very serious endeavors. So, but they become better lately. So good for Vencion. Keep on doing what you're doing, man. And I think I'll mention again, watch Friday's show. It's dedicated to a Bitcoiner who I found out he died in February. Tor had been in the chat before, and his wife emailed me. She had just found my email address and said, Tor passed away in February. And so we dedicated the show, This Week in Bitcoin show, to him yesterday, and he will be missed. And I just want to say, he had brain cancer. So that's a really hard one to beat. And he went through he went through chemo, and he's gone now, but he did set a great example for everyone, because he planned out with his Trezor, and his passing on his Bitcoin went very smoothly, but he will be missed. I hung out with him actually in June, last June, which was great. It was great. He's from Baltimore originally, like I am. But is very unfortunate, and I learned right before the show went on the air yesterday that he died in February. I did not know, so that's very sad, and he will be missed. He was a Bitcoiner. He was a big fan of Bitcoin, and he was a fan of this show and some of the other shows. I think he liked World Crypto network and tone also. And so just want to point that out again. We're talking about cancer, so I'm thinking about that. Anyway, moving Dennis Prager here. Oh, so let's talk about scientists real quick, okay? Because it does seem like there are some people who, if you're called a scientist, and they don't care what school you went to or anything, if you're somehow classified yourself as a scientist, it's like a religion to people now. That these are like their, Dennis Prager points this out, that for the seculars, this is like their rabbis and their priests. And science is a religion of the left, is what Dennis Prager says in this video linked to below. And so he talked at the 27-minute and 25-second mark. He goes on with this. And the major point, and I don't care about the leftist part of it. What I care about is that rabbis and priests and religious authorities, they're not always right. They do bad things also. They have affiliations. They say things for certain reasons. Now, there's some that are really pure, I'm sure, okay? But they're not perfect either. And I think religious people understand that. You can't blindly follow some of these dudes. But on the secular side, people don't get it. Like, there are scientists that can be bought. There are priests that can be bought. There are rabbis that can be bought. So if science is your religion, okay, if you treat these guys like you got it, so you got to understand they're not going to be perfect all the time. And I think more and more people, well, there's more, a lot of people are so scared that they are thinking more so now that, you know, the president's scientist, Cuomo's scientist, Gavin Newsom's scientist, they must be right. You know, but they're scared. They're scared. But no, there are people that are that are going to come out of this and be like, wait a second, what's this 90% of scientists think climate change is real thing? Who are these scientists anyway? There will be plenty of people that weren't climate change skeptics that are going to become climate change skeptics after all this is said and done. But there'll probably be more people that'll be more hardcore climate change after this also. That'll be like, look, we shut down the whole economy for this virus that wasn't very serious. Climate change is serious. Let's shut it down. Let's shut it down. Oh, God. Dennis Prager also brought up a point about how if we banned alcohol, banning alcohol will save many innocent lives. Do you guys know that? There'll be less spousal abuse. There'll be less car accidents where innocents are going to get killed. Again, a lot of people get so drunk they beat their spouse to death, and that won't be happening if you ban alcohol, right? And there won't be drunk drivers if you ban alcohol, right? So, but few want that. These few people understand, you know, it's free. You know, I'm free to drink my alcohol. Why would you take away my alcohol? And the virus has made people, you know, totally forget about that. The virus, they can't see. It's not a physical thing. But so they're willing to save lives by giving away their freedom. All right. But you would save more lives if you banned alcohol than what we're doing right now. Okay. And but people aren't calling for ban. So I mean, you can ban. So you can do. The government can force itself into so many aspects of people's private lives, and will save many lives. But you're supposed to treasure your freedom. You're supposed to be independent here, man. You're not supposed to be. But again, collectivism is the default, and being self-sufficient is the accomplishment, man. Being an individual is the accomplishment. But just think about that though for a second. All right. Now here, Carl Denninger, again, he has been so right on this at Market Ticker. So follow him on Twitter. It's linked to below. This link is linked to below. Because if we destroy our society and societal contract between all of us and our government, which is exactly what all of these lockdowns and fear mongering is doing, right now, there will be no America worth living in. Virus or no virus. This must end right now, today, not tomorrow, today. So yeah, will this fear cripple the economy for the long term? I mean, the longer it goes on, the longer this, even after this is over, it's going to have a huge effect on people's mentality and thus on the economy of the 80%ers. So yeah, people are, as that New York article mentioned, people are scared to go out. So scared that they're scared to go out after the virus will be gone. And there's so many people like, it will be a different world afterwards. Everyone's going to be a hypochondriac afterwards. I hope not. I really hope not. I'm not buying into that. But Carl is worried about that. And that's why he to avoid that happening, end it right now. So we don't raise a nation of hypochondriacs, panic prisoners. Yeah. So yeah, the longer it lasts, the more so it'll be ingrained in people's heads and hard for them to ever be normal again. And yeah, the governors, they sicken me, the ones that say that there's going to be a new normal after this, new normal. Everyone's going to be a hypochondriac. Oh, God. Now, Surfer Jim, a guy I met in Vegas, a fan of the show. I linked one of his videos below. Well, he was interviewed by that dude down in Texas. And, Surfer Jim's in motion. He's the one who made those cool business cards with like all this awesome Bitcoin information on a business card. He hands them out at events. I love it. He's linked to watch the video of him below. Airbnb. I read this on another show, but I just want to read this again. Airbnb is about to crash the U.S. housing market. Thousands of superhosts who bought 10, 20, 30 properties with mortgages and are heavily levered and are about to default. Without travel, there is no rental income to pay these mortgages. In 2 to 3 months, 2008 all over again. Well, yeah, I'll say that we'll have a major real estate crisis in 2 to 3 months if these lockdowns don't end. That's for one thing. We still might have it because international travel will be messed up. There are going to be plenty of CUCK countries that aren't going to let up. Even if the United States leads the way, there are going to be plenty of countries that don't follow. And I say this: I don't own real estate. And I've told you what a pain in the butt it is to own real estate because I have owned real estate before. And so I am not in debt, but I take a positive spin on this, okay? For a guy like me, there are going to be so many great rental deals and Airbnb deals because of all these people that are just going to be desperate after not having any rental business for months. They're going to be giving away the stuff, okay? So for all you dudes who want to be in motion and travel for cheap, it's coming up, baby, worldwide, okay? It is, and especially nationwide. If there's ever been some city you want to go to, you're going to have the opportunity soon enough. You young, and this is why you stay healthy, okay? So, because some people are like, well, wait a second, I've got diabetes. I can't go around because I'm scared I'm going to get this disease. Well, if you've been maintaining your health and been in motion and been a long-term planner like me, well, you wouldn't have to worry about that right now. But it's personal responsibility. You can eat as many tasty cakes as you want to. I'm not stopping you from doing it. But just because you became tasty cake addict and Burger King addict doesn't mean I should be locked in my house. Okay. I mean, it doesn't go together. It doesn't make any sense. But for some of the people that want the authoritarian regime, it does make sense. Anyway, the point is, some people made some bad real estate decisions. They'll be able to hang on to their real estate and they'll be trying to, hey, if anybody wants to buy cheap real estate, not that I advise doing it, there'll be a lot of cheap real estate out there too. No doubt about that. But I'm on the rental side of things, baby. And again, for the people that say real estate never goes down in price. Yeah. All right. Moving on. Defiance versus compliance. Oh, I want to say something. I noticed there are a lot of pot smokers out there in the Bitcoin community. And it seems like the guys who I know who smoke a lot of weed, they're the ones that are more likely to be compliant on this whole shutdown America thing. So I'm just wondering how much pot emasculates people and feminizes them. Because I noticed there definitely pot people seem to not be on the same side of this argument that I am on. So maybe I'm just seeing maybe I need to know more pot heads. I don't know. But is anybody else noticing this, that regular pot smokers seem to be like, yeah, let's just take this easy. I'm not going to protest it. I'm not going to be defiant like Adam Meister making videos. I'm just going to go with the flow and say, they're sick people. We should save the old people. And I'm not going to study the statistics. And sometimes government overreach is okay. Type of, let me have another doobie. If you guys are doobie smokers out there, I don't want you to be effeminate. I want you out there being men saying, this is stupid. This is horrible. What is that so many Americans are being compliant little bootlickers now. Now, my video that got complained about I was talking about this. So again, I knew very well that someone could tell on me, be an Eric Garcetti. Someone snitched on me. Someone snitched on me to YouTube. I mean, that was one of the messages I got from YouTube, was that one of your videos has been complained about. We're taking the video down. But then the next thing, they took the whole channel down. But the point is that this whole time people, and it's not been popular to talk about things the mainstream is talking about. I mean, I brought up the malaria pill before hardly anybody was talking about it, because I know I am logical. I'm using reason. I am not panicking. I am not getting emotional about this darn thing. And I know that it's a real disease, but the damage, the solution that has been put out there by the mainstream of this world is much worse than the disease, much, much worse. And look, and now it's acceptable to be a snitch. The mayor of LA is saying to be a snitch. I mean, it's grotesque, totally grotesque. It will end though. It will end though. People will others will take to the streets. Okay, now, you dudes, say it loud and proud on social media. Retweet this, retweet Carl Denninger. Just put it out there. Every little bit helps, man. Every little bit helps wake up people from their TV trance. And plenty of people are in that. Now, here is a Fox 5 New York article. Says store owners boarding up buildings across Manhattan. And there's pictures of, indeed, owners of buildings in Manhattan are scared of civil unrest. I have also seen this in LA. If you see the thumbnail for this video, you can see in the background behind me, there's some businesses that are boarded up because they're a little worried about civil unrest. Don't blame them. Okay, CNN article, Republican governors stay-at-home orders. Okay, they say they're trying to shame 8 Republican governors who haven't issued stay-at-home orders. And they're basing their shame on politics. Like, look at the Republicans, shame on the Republicans. Again, if this was such a serious thing, why are you getting political about the whole thing? Why are you getting so? It's just another lever to attack your political enemy. Look at the Republican. He will not go with the standard. He will not give in, or she. So there's 8 of them. They're trying to shame them into this thing. And I praise them. I praise these 8 red state governors. They call them red state governors. Oh, and I will list the states. And some of these guys will probably give in. Arkansas, Iowa, Nebraska, North Dakota, South Carolina, Utah, and Wyoming. So the South Dakota governor is great. She says in this tweet, and I didn't link to it, unfortunately. South Dakota is not New York City, she said in a press conference April 1st, later urging residents not to turn on the news and look at New York City and think that's what Lemon, South Dakota is going to face in a month. The calls to apply for a one-size-fits-all approach to this problem is herd mentality. Pound that like button. I love it. She's using my term there. It's not leadership. Only 2 people have died of the virus in South Dakota, by the way. I've been there before. I have actually driven through South Dakota. All right? And it's spread out. It's flat. Hardly anyone is there. How are they going to spread this? Now, Mount Rushmore is not flat. That's in the southwest corner of the state. I'm sure they've shut down Mount Rushmore. I mean, they shouldn't have. People can space themselves out there if they want to, even there. But, man. And in Wyoming, there have been no deaths from the virus, okay? So some people want Trump to force the order on these states. So remember, Trump he's made recommendations. It's all the states' governors and cities' mayors that have done all these draconian things, okay? It is not Trump. But there are plenty of people that including the Fauci, whatever he is, the medical czar, or whatever he wants Trump to issue a stay-at-home order at the federal level. And this is a states' rights issue. It's great. I love that Trump, and he's not perfect, but on this, he's letting the states do what they want to do. So he's only setting the tone, and he's sent recommendations, but it's the states that are ordering people to stay home. And God bless South Dakota. Okay, God bless So I'd love to go visit South Dakota again during the warmer months. Again, I'm not going there. It gets cold there too, man. But me talking about this federal level versus state level thing also, I have said in the past, I don't care who wins the presidency, et cetera, et cetera. But this is a real issue. This is a real issue. Because if Biden or Cuomo became president, this wouldn't even be a question. They would order all sorts of draconian things to every state. Okay? States are supposed to be experimental places. You try different things in each state. So that's a federal overreach right there. So having a president who's going to do federal overreach to this level where, South Dakota doesn't want to have anything to do with this stay-at-home order stuff. That would be problematic. And, that kind of shoots some holes in my whole philosophy of I don't care who president is. So made me think a little bit there. So CNN, I do not put these people on pedestals. At the same time, one of the main reasons I don't worry about who's president, because if it ever got to be uncomfortable for me, I would just leave the country, go somewhere else, whatever. CNN, what's this? Oh, the Democratic National Convention has been postponed. Oh, is that much because of coronavirus? Oh, that's one step closer to saying, Biden, we're not going to do this the way we plan to do it. And we like this Cuomo guy. This week, more and more people talking about, they're talking about President Cuomo. They're talking about Andrew Cuomo's nipples, and they're saying that he should run for president. Should be president. And they keep putting him on the news. I mean, the media loves this dude. Biden is if Biden actually knows what's going on, he's probably worried. I don't know if Biden knows what's going on. All right, but there's your first step, moving the Democratic National Convention. It's supposed to be in the summer, so who knows where it's going to be now. So now also on social media, people are going crazy over Joe Rogan again. He liked Bernie at first, and people went crazy over that. I mean, this is one guy. Don't put him on a pedestal. Now he's saying he'd vote for Trump over Biden. And everyone thinks it's like the end of the world on Twitter. I mean, dude, wasn't the end of the world supposed to be the coronavirus? I mean, so how could coronavirus be the end of the world and you're worried about what Joe Rogan is saying, who the next president is? Why do you care about who the next president is if we're in a life or death situation today? Because it's not a life or death situation today. This whole thing is fake. All right. Again, the virus is real, but the hysteria is fake. And and people are showing it because they're still, Joe Rogan's influencing the president. The presidential results are because people worship these people, and you shouldn't worship them. It's much more. They'll do anything to get their winner in office, including be hysterical about this virus. So it is sickening. I mean, it's sad that there's so many people have become hysterical over this virus, but it's sickening that some of them know better. They know better, and they're doing it for ulterior motives to get their team to win the presidency. It means that much to them to destroy people's lives, to destroy the economy. They have no idea about economics or money or anything like that. I mean, they're socialists and communists and stuff. They think it'll all work out if we get the right guy in charge. It'll cancel out all these people not working for months. They probably think that. I'm not a mind reader. So I've said before, landlord hate is coming. Vilification is coming. It is a bad precedent for letting people not pay rent and other responsibilities. And here's a quote about that. I worry about precedents being set for the future. If some of this is enacted, won't people call for similar things to be used for just about any future bad happenings? Could terrorists use future attacks to shut down economies? I can't say for sure, but it is worth a discussion at least. And that was a comment left on Scott Adams' video, actually. And I love the comment sections of Scott Adams' videos are good. That's not watching, that's reading. But I will say this, it did make me think about the precedent. Like, okay, we'll get through this, but how about there is like a terrorist attack one day, again, God forbid, and the terrorists do it because they know, and it's not even that big of one, and because they know that the whole country will shut down, and that's the true way of getting at the United States, is to scare them, because they know every time you scare America now, they shut it down. People don't pay rent anymore. People don't do anything anymore. And that is why it is a moral hazard here. But the other side of this argument is, okay, people go on rent strike right now so that this ends. So everybody start not paying their mortgages now, so this ends. So, I mean, I see the other side of the argument down also. But it does set a bad here we can define it, and we can separate it in this way. If the people naturally stop doing these things and it's a protest, then I support it. But if when these things happen, the government orders it, saying, no, everyone is not paying their rent anymore, that is a horrible moral hazard. Okay, everyone, the government law now is all contracts are no longer valid. So you don't have to worry about contracts anymore, people, because we just had a terrorist attack, or we just had a disease. We the government, are making that law. That's a horrible moral hazard, horrible precedent, and it'll just keep getting repeated over and over again. But if people naturally now get frustrated and want to stop this being locked in their houses and want things to get back to normal, and that's the way they protest, okay, that's better. Now, people on Twitter are making fun of President Trump for bringing up the malaria drug, and are saying that he's like Jim Jones, telling people to drink the Kool-Aid. These people are either ignorant or they hate Trump that much that they will lie. This malaria drug is helping people, okay? So we've got the doomers versus the hope in motion people. I am in motion. If people are so scared they're going to get sick, okay, be in motion. Take this, all right? It gives you hope. It is an old drug that has been around for a long time. Now, it can't interact with other drugs. And of course, many Americans, because they're so sick already, are on tons of other drugs. Okay, that's something to take, but this, to paint Trump as ridiculous for promoting this drug, it's absolutely ludicrous. There have been scientific studies that show it has helped people. And do you think the rich, and Scott Adams has brought up, this is a great point. I mean, President Trump might be on this drug now. I'm sure there are plenty of politicians and wealthy people who've gotten their hands on it, who are older and who are sicker, who are scared, who are like, okay, this is gonna save me, type of thing. But at the same time, you have these vicious panic mobs. I mean, doom mobs on social media just saying, oh, he's Jim Jones. He's telling people to drink the Kool-Aid. It's poison. It'll kill you. No, when you drink aquarium solution, aquarium cleaner, that will kill you. That is not malaria pills. It sounds like malaria pills, the drug that's in it, but it's not the same thing. So yeah, fear-mongering based politics, they will say anything to scare everyone so much to make sure their guy wins the election. They will lie about something that is quite helpful. I mean, imagine if the mainstream media actually covered this malaria pill. It would give so many people, instead of scaring people like, I bet the majority of Americans don't even know this malaria thing exists, that it's a legitimate solution to the problem, a major hunk of the problem at least. All right, so I'll leave you. We're at an hour point in the show. That's the end of the show. I want to tell you, for the next 24 hours or less than that, myheritage.com, I linked to it below. You get to check United States Census records for free. This is usually a site you pay for. I've never paid for it. But you can go to the link below and you can find out about your family history. Type in your last name, and you can see census records, see where your family lived in 1920, 1930. This is for Americans. It's fun. I was playing around with it earlier, and I found out a couple things about both sides of my family that I didn't know. Nothing too drastic, but one of my in-laws, I found out something about the family of one of my in-laws. So it's fun. If you, especially if you've got a rare last name, you'll be able to find information pretty easily at the site. It's linked to below. Remember, dudes, clicking on the links below is part of the game here. You're not benefiting from this video unless you check out the links below. Okay, there are comments. I got to read this stuff. All right, quickly, I will read what I didn't read here. Guy Bennett says, when all this nonsense is over, get ready to see an amazing drop in deaths attributed to pneumonia, diabetes, and other underlying health conditions when the annual reports are in. Oh, I get your point there, man. The thing is, what he's trying to say is there are a lot of people that they're saying every country does it differently. There are people that die and they didn't die from the virus, but they found out later, like, oh, they had the virus. And so they classify them as dying from the virus. They died from something else, but they happen to have the virus. You can tell when someone really died from the virus instead of dying, then finding out like, oh, they also had the virus when they died. Okay. So Guy Bennett says, a good one from Molyneux. He calls COVID 1984. Well, but Molyneux has been panicked about this too. I wouldn't say he's a great person to watch on this at all. I wouldn't say. I mean, that's a good saying to call it COVID 1984, but he's not. From the clips that I've seen of him, and I don't watch him that much anymore anyway. He seemed to be a little fearful about this. He seems to spread the fear. His titles, he's got a lot of clickbaity fear titles lately. He does not like losing his 80%er viewers, which he has lost a lot of lately because the algorithm is not nice to him. He is discriminated against by YouTube. They do things to cut down on his views to 80%ers, but he does things to combat it, which are really clickbaity and instill fear in people. And I'm not about instilling fear in people. Rocky Palumbo is in the house. He says from January 1st through March 25th. 21,000 people died from COVID-19 and 582,000 died from alcohol. Now, there's the COVID-19 deaths right now are very small compared to so many other things. And it's just that they're blowing it out of proportion. The media is, and other people are too. All right. And finally, Top Roller said, Trump said today he is considering taking the malaria drug as a preventative measure for himself. So that's probably what triggered all that stuff that I saw on Twitter. And I would not doubt that he is already taking it. He's over 70 and he's probably pre-diabetic, I would assume. I mean, he says he's so healthy, but would look to me that he's pre-diabetic at least. But I'm not his medical doctor. And good for him if he wants to take it. It's a personal responsibility thing. If you want to take it, take it. Consult your doctor, though. Consult your doctor because they will tell you what drugs it reacts with. All right. But again, and another, not all doctors are the final word, and not all scientists, in the secular religion type of stuff. I want to point that out again. There are bad doctors out there also. So be careful, people. Use logic, reason. Don't get emotional. I'm Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, Disrupt Meister. Spread the word about this on Twitter. Retweet it, dudes. Thanks for being here tonight, guys. I'll say hi to all of you in the chat. Pound that like button. Bang the bell button, I guess, to get reminders when this backup channel posts a video. All right. I will see you guys in the chat. And, of course, new show every day, so I'll see you Sunday. Bye.